Hey guys, what's up? So a couple of years ago, I bought this, the Meta Quest 2, and yeah, I got it soon after it was released, and I made some videos about it, mostly about whether it was good for watching videos, whether it was good for fitness. So in 2 years, the Quest 2 has had a slight name change. It's also had an increase in price, but it has, without a doubt, become the most popular VR headset ever. So is the Meta Quest 2 still worth buying? And what is it like to use? Is it actually fun? So I'm going to take you through everything you need to know about the Meta Quest 2, how I found using it in the past few years, what you can do, and whether I think it's worth buying today. For starters, it is a wireless VR headset. In fact, one of the first ones ever, certainly the most popular one by far. The Quest 2 allows you to freely move around without wires. You do need a fairly big space to take advantage of this. And you also have the option to plug the Quest 2 into a VR-ready laptop, which boosts its capabilities and allows you to play some more advanced games and experiences. As for how powerful the processor that runs everything in the headset, when it was released, it came with a fairly powerful mobile processor. 2 years later, it's starting to seem a little bit dated. However, obviously, developers have had a long time to get used to using this, and they've managed to get quite a lot out of it. You can have some really awesome experiences, despite this being a fairly weak processor compared to something like a PlayStation or a something in a laptop. But at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to play the largest, most complex VR games or experiences in the wireless mode, as the mobile processor is just not going to be able to handle it. So in terms of specs, the Quest 2 up until very recently was pretty much the only option available and had still the best specs for a wireless headset. Now there are one or two other options which are more advanced and take advantage of the latest in VR headset technology, but they are also a little bit more expensive and have far less in terms of games and experiences ready to go, but we'll talk about that later. So the vast majority of people probably buying the Quest 2 are going to be gaming with it. It's primarily a gaming device, no matter what Meta actually wants you to use it for. So VR games can be thrilling, fun, unique, and the Quest 2 has a really impressive array of games in its app store, and new ones are being made all the time. I'm pretty sure this is either the biggest or second biggest VR gaming library. The most popular games on the Quest 2 include Beat Saber, Bone Lab, Superhot, Saints and Sinners. There's a lot of different worlds that you can immerse yourself in, and yeah, a lot of different experiences to be had. And you can immerse yourself in fictional universes with Star Wars games, Star Trek, Iron Man. So I've had some experiences obviously playing these games, and no doubt that they are really fun and immersive, but compared to games that you can play on, say, Xbox or PlayStation or even the Nintendo Switch, they are much smaller, take far less time to play through, and have less replayability. Usually a game on the Quest 2 is gonna not last you longer than 5 or 6 hours. I think the longest one that I've played has probably lasted about 10 hours. And I'm talking about now the wireless games, like I mentioned before. You can play the larger games like Half-Life Alyx. That's probably the biggest, most impressive VR game, but that requires you to plug in the Quest 2 to a VR-ready headset, and then you can play those larger games. But for wireless only, the games are certainly smaller and less complex than you'd be used to playing on like a PlayStation 5, for example. But there are games that are kind of insanely fun and addictive, to be honest. Games like the Zero Gravity multiplayer Echo VR, which is also free, probably one of my favorite games and the one that I played the most, is very replayable and makes excellent use of the Quest 2 social features. The multiplayer aspect of this is probably some of the most fun. I've had some really cool experiences talking and playing with other people in these VR multiplayer games. I kind of get bored of multiplayer games on other consoles, but with VR it kind of adds a new element to it. However, there is a limitation to how long you can play these games, and that's comfort, which I mentioned before. So yeah, I use still the basic strap with the Quest 2. It comes with this, I guess, don't know how to describe it. It's pretty basic, but there are premium straps that you can take this out and put a premium strap in. I probably should have got one. So I'm talking about the strap that comes in the box, and to be honest, it's just not very comfortable. I can only play for like an hour or so before it becomes pretty unbearable, and I just want to take the headset off. Now, I have used, for example, a couple of friends of mine have a headset and they use a more premium third-party strap to attach it to their head, and it is way more comfortable, so I do recommend getting one of these. So overall for gaming, I would say this is not a replacement for a console like, the PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, but it is something that is really fun, unique. I do not find myself picking this up every day. I can go literally like a month without even touching it, but when I do, I always find it fun, and it's a fun couple of hours. And it's also something that other people want to play when they see you, so it's something at parties or when you have friends over, that it is something that everyone finds really amazing when they use it the first time. So let's talk about the Metaverse. I still don't really know what it is. So Meta and Mark Zuckerberg in particular wants us to use our VR headsets to enter the Metaverse. So from what I can tell, the Metaverse is essentially different virtual reality open worlds where people can interact in different ways. There's no single Metaverse. Meta has their own app, Horizon Worlds, which is a kind of Metaverse, but there's also apps like VR Chat and Big Screen, which are their own kind of Metaverses as well. They just have a different, focus. Well, basically, all these apps allow different people to interact in a VR world, which is supposed to be super open and built by the creators, by the people who are using them. I rarely use these experiences. I've tried them out, particularly Big Screen, because it allows you to watch movies and TV shows and stuff with other people around in a kind of big cinema, which I find quite cool. But I do find a lot of these worlds to be populated by, let's face it, kids who can be a bit annoying. If you are a kid yourself or you're buying a Quest for your kid, then that's great news because then they'll be able to interact with people their own age. But for anyone else, it can be slightly annoying, tedious to have to mute all the people who are annoying. And overall, I've not found the experience of these metaverses to be particularly engaging or something that I want to be a part of, but maybe you will. Now, I've done previous videos about using the Quest 2 for watching video, whether it be YouTube, 360 video, immersive video. Now, I think this is a really awesome use of the Quest 2. The MetaQuest App Store features many immersive video experiences, including documentaries, entertainment, comedy, and even live theater. And watching these immersive videos, that is 360 videos where you can look around and immerse yourself in the experience, it's a really unique thing to do and allows you to visit places that you'd never be able to visit in reality, gets you as close as you're ever going to get. Most of them are free, some of them you have to pay for, but a lot of them are just there available for you to watch straight away. And if you own a 360 camera, like a lot of my viewers do, you can shoot your own videos and watch them back on the Quest 2 in a really immersive way. So an amazing way to kind of relive memories, and I've shot some videos a couple of years ago on vacations I went on before the pandemic and looked back, and it really does give you a sense of nostalgia. You can also watch standard non-immersive 360 and non-360 videos on your Quest 2. I watch YouTube videos on here sometimes when I want a really big, much more widescreen experience. That's basically what it allows you to do. It allows you to almost watch any kind of movie, show, YouTube video on what appears to be a cinema-sized screen. The resolution of the screen is high enough and clear enough that it does almost feel like you're in a cinema, apart from the fact you're wearing something on your head. I think it's a much better way than just watching it on a tiny phone screen or even your laptop. You're not going to want to binge watch a Netflix show for all 10 episodes on your Quest 2 because then your face will start to hurt. But one movie, you should be fine. Now, the final thing that the Quest is kind of becoming, well, known for or used for is fitness. And I did make another video about this about a year ago, using the Quest 2 for fitness, particularly during the lockdowns. I did start doing that, and it can be useful. It really can. There are apps designed specifically for exercise, some that require a lot of movement that you can definitely burn some calories. There are apps like FitXR, which is a subscription-based workout app, so you do have to pay for it, but basically encourages you to punch, jump, and dance your way to, I guess, losing weight or a healthier lifestyle. And it comes with kind of a VR personal trainer, which guides you along and gives you loads of different things to do. And even games like this boxing game, which I found the most, intense, and it really puts me out of breath. If you go to the high levels of this boxing game, and it will really tire you out, and you will burn some calories doing this. Thrill of the Fight, that's the name of the boxing game. Thrill of the Fight. Amazing. If you're already working out in any considerable way, like going to the gym, going running, cycling, then yeah, it won't be as intensive. You won't really notice much of a difference. It's not going to change your life. But if you were trying to introduce yourself into fitness and kind of make it a game or make it fun, then it does. It makes it a bit more fun than just, going to the gym or going for a run. Right, so let's talk about some of the issues. The Quest 2 has not been without controversy, let's face it. Most infamously when Meta added the requirement to have a Facebook account to even sign in or activate your Quest 2. Now that feature is actually gone. You actually don't need a Facebook account anymore to have this headset and to use it. You do need what's called a Meta account, which is completely different. Separated from any other social media. It's just another random account. Yeah, so that's a bit better. You don't have all of your social media, past, future, present, tied to this device. Yeah, a lot of people were mad about, and I don't blame you. But the Quest 2 is certainly a data gathering device. It's got a microphone, it's got loads of cameras, it follows what you buy, what you search for, so you are essentially paying for this via the data you give to Meta. And they also made a bizarre choice to raise the price of the headset. I mean, I think that was about 6 months ago now. Meta has not been doing as well as they used to, and they really were pricing this headset really below what it costs to make to get as many people buying it as possible. And again, recouping that with the software sales or the data that they can gather from you. That kind of goes to show the hardware in this is worth way more than they're selling it for. And so this headset is 2 years old, and there are now some competitors. The Pico 4 is probably the top direct competitor to the Quest 2, developed by the Chinese company ByteDance, which is also responsible for TikTok. The Pico 4 is a step up from the Quest 2 in pretty much every single way. It features pancake lenses, which allows for wider field of view, a higher resolution screen, an overall thinner headset. There's a more powerful processor, as well as full color cameras for mixed reality experiences. And the Pico 4 is actually roughly the same price as the Quest 2. Why would you want this? Why would you even be getting anything other than this new headset? For the specs aren't everything. In terms of software, as in games and apps and experiences, the Pico 4, is it Pico or Pico? Don't know. The new headset is way behind Meta in terms of those. You may end up having indeed a better VR experience, but you'd run out of things to do very quickly. The PSVR 2 is also coming out, and that looks to be an amazing experience. I mean, everyone who's tried it says it's really amazing, but you need a PlayStation 5 to play that, and it's going to be wired. You're still going to have it connected via a wire to the console. So that limits the movement, certainly, but probably the experiences on the PSVR are going to be way more complex and intense and longer than anything that's going to be on the Quest 2. And finally, Meta have confirmed that a Quest 3 is coming out. They just have not said when, there's not really that much information about it. I mean, you can scour online to kind of guess, and there's been leaks, whatever, but we don't know for sure when it's going to come out or what it's going to be. So let's summarize the Quest 2. I've had it for a few years. I don't play it every day. I don't play it every week. But when I do play it, I think it's really fun. I still think it's a really amazing experience. I still think VR is really cool. It doesn't replace full consoles. The games that I played are not as complex and not as long as other gaming devices, but you know what? They don't need to be, because they're just way more fun. There's more to it than just a gaming device. Certainly for watching videos and immersive experiences, it's amazing. As a social device, yeah, the multiplayer games are amazing, but the Metaverse is too in its infancy to really be worth putting any time into, I think. So I don't regret buying the Quest 2, and it's still probably the best option overall right now because it has so many things to do and so many experiences. If you have a Quest 2, let me know what you think, if you agree with me or not. If you have any questions, feel free to ask and I'll get back to you. But yeah, overall, I like it. It's not the best thing I've ever had, but you know, it's certainly worth buying, and it's pretty good value even with the price increase. So that's it, guys. I may make some more VR headset stuff soon. I might get this new one and see how it compares. But yeah, until next time, I'll see you around. Bye.